Alright, today guys we're starting on 8.7, which starts on page 358, where they give you a couple of examples and notes you can look at on the one way or the other way on ABC. I'm going to start on guided practice numbers 2 and 3, which we normally go over together before I turn you guys loose to work on your own. We have multiplication of mixed numbers and whole numbers and fractions. So the first thing I want to go over is 2 3/4. If we want to turn that to an improper fraction before we move on, okay? So anytime we have a mixed number, we turn it to improper fraction before we move forward. So 2 times 4 plus 3 would give us 11/4. So that's where this part comes from. Okay, it's going to have the same denominator, but a different numerator. And it's going to be a fraction greater than 1 because we're turning it into a fraction. Okay, this is going from mixed to improper, and everyone should know how to do this. One clue I gave you guys is we go like this. It's like times the bottom plus the top. It kind of goes around in a circle. Okay, that works for some people. Some people just know what they're doing. You do what works for you. So 2 times 4, it's always going to be the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So that would give me 11/4. Again, we talked about whole numbers when we're dealing with fractions and multiplication of fractions. We can easily turn it into a fraction by putting it over 1. Okay? Every number can be made into a fraction form simply by putting it over 1. Because again, if we went from a improper back to a mixed, what would 8 divided by 1 give you? 8 wholes. So again, this is why you have 8/1 here in your book. Okay, finally for your answer section, I don't know if I'm going off the page. Let me write down here. So now that we have 2 fractions, we're back to those steps. 11 times 8 is 88. 4 times 1 is 4. Are we done? No, sir. We don't want to leave our answer as an improper fraction. So here's the portion where you go from improper back to a mixed or a whole number. So anytime you have the number on top, which is greater than the number on bottom, it's set up like division anyway. This is a way to write a division problem. So 88, if you need to do this, guys, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and show your work. 88 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 8? Twice, right? 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, bring it down, bring it back. 8 divided by 4 goes in twice. Okay? So what we see here is our answer is going to be 22 wholes. If it goes in evenly with no remainder, then your answer can be a whole number. Okay, if this was, let's say, 89, okay, we would have done the same thing, except we would have a remainder of 1. So our answer would be 22. The remainder goes in the numerator, and the denominator stays the same. Okay? Obviously, it's 88. It goes in evenly. Good for you, but I just wanted to add in that little tidbit to help you guys. If it goes in evenly, there's no problem with that. But it doesn't always go in evenly. Let's take a look at number 3. I think we might get one. So number 3, again, we have 2 mixed numbers. Well, great. I'm going to turn them into improper fractions. Everyone should know how to do this by now. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Denominator does what? Stays the same. I've said that a million times this year, I know. It's got to be annoying by now, but it does. It stays the same. So we have 9/2. Now for this one, we have 1 times 4 plus 1, which will give us 5/4. Okay? Now we're on this part of the problem. This is all that matters now. We're done with the mixed numbers. Turn them both to improper. What's the rule? Numerator times numerator. Denominator times denominator. Okay, we're going to end up with 9 times 5 is 45. And 2 times 4, which is going to give us 8. Are we done? No, we're not, because this is an improper fraction, and we know we need to turn it back to a mixed number or whole number by dividing. Okay, again, set it up. 45 divided by 8. Can 8 go into 4? No. How many times does 8 go into 45? This goes into your reflex. Some of us are still struggling with our multiplication, guys. We got to be able to just riddle these things off, not think too much. Okay. 8 goes into 45. What would you start with? Well, you know 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6, 48. It's too much. So the closest I can get is 8 times 5. Okay. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract. Okay, we have a remainder of 5. So 5, remainder 5. So what will my answer look like? 5 is my whole number. That's how many times wholes are in here. What's left over is my remainder, okay, which is going to be my new numerator. And my denominator does what? Stays the same. Okay. Easy enough? Now, if you look at, this is all you need to solve the problems. Now, again, I always go over this stuff because for some people this may click, but I'm not going to recommend this for everyone. So if you don't understand it, no worries. You're not going to be asked to do this, but this is another way you can do this problem. Okay. All right, so all they're doing is breaking up the number 4 and 1/2 and 1 and 1/4. Okay? I've broken up my number into the two parts and 2 parts since they're both mixed numbers. What's 1 times 4? 4. That's this section. 1 times 4. Okay? This section is going to be 1 times 1/2. Okay, again, put your whole number over 1. What's 1 times 1? 1. Denominator, half. Okay? Now, in this section, I'm going to have 1/4 times 4. I'm going to put it over 1. So this is a whole number. We have 4 times 4. Or 1 times 4, which is 4. 4 times 1, which is 4, for a total of 1 wholes. Last portion of this problem is going to be 1/4 times 1/2. Okay? 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. So that section is worth 1/8. So when you complete this portion, okay, now we have to go back and we have to add up all our sums. So we have 4 plus 1/2 plus 1 plus 1/8. Okay, easy way to go about this is first let's add our whole numbers. Okay, that's easy. 4 plus 1, we got 5. Now we have 5 plus 1/2 plus 1/8. Okay, when we're adding fractions, can we add numbers with different denominators? No. Can we find the common denominator between 2 and 8? In this case, yes you can. It's very easy. You multiply this fraction by, say it with me at home, if you had your cereal. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. So our new fraction is 4/8, which is equivalent to 1/2. It's 4/2 of 8. Just like 1 is half of 2. They're equivalent. Okay? We're not just changing it, we're changing it to an equivalent fraction. Plus 1/8. So we have 5 plus 4/8 plus 1/8 for a grand total of 5 and 5/8. Okay? Again, a totally different strategy, but another way to get to your answer. Focus on this portion for the majority. Use this if it comes easy to you, basically. Use it if it comes easy to you. The last thing I want to talk about is estimates. Okay, estimates are easy, guys. Don't get confused. All you're saying to yourself is it closer to 0, half, or 1? Use those benchmarks. Okay, so for instance, this problem, 2 3/4. Well, 3/4 is it closer to being 4/4, 2/4, or 0/4? In this case, it's closer to being 4/4. Okay, so if it's close to being 4/4, that's 1 whole. If I add that to the 2 I have here, that's 3 wholes. What will we get if we multiply 3 times 8? 24. Okay, will be my estimate. Is 22 close to 24? Yes. So again, that's the estimate portion. It asks you to estimate on all of them. I think that's a bit much. Let's just estimate on 4 through 9 estimations. Okay, so 4 through 9, you'll do your estimates. Other than that, I want you guys to go ahead and solve. Have a wonderful Thursday. God bless you. Stay safe and get to work.